Assalamualaikum and good day. We are consultant from AI Consultant Group firm and we present to you about ethical issue arise in Top Glove Malaysia. So, as we all know, when we conducting a business, we are going to face many challenges such as ethical issue in the workplace that can cause ethical dilemma among the workers, right? So, why this issue happen? Okay, it happened when the company violates moral human standards which bring negative impact on the workers. Therefore, in order to see how far an ethical issue can bring harms to workers, we decided to discuss an ethical issue of forced labor related to Top Glove, which is one of the biggest manufacturer companies that provide rubber glove in the world. Factories of Top Glove in Malaysia were held responsible for forced labor, forced overtime, debt bondage, withheld wages and passport confiscation. So we will discuss further about this ethical issue to have deeper analysis on the ethical awareness of stakeholders, ethical reasoning and ethical suggestion that I will pass to the next presenter.
Started in 2018, Top Gloves were subjected to labor force overtime, debt bondage, withholding wages, and passport seizure. However, Top Gloves have denied all these claims. This issue come to surface again in 2020 when the same claim made by Channel 4 added with COVID-19 situation issue. Top Gloves was banned for exporting their products to America in 2020. April 2021, Impact verified that indicators of forced labor in the company has been eliminated. September 2021, US lifted the ban from Top Glove.
Ethical awareness, like whenever a person is aware of ethical challenges, they could make the best and the most moral decisions. The ethical awareness we can find from the Top Glove was the action of journalists who spread a false news. This showed that journalists, corporation did not have an ethical standard of business ethics by spreading a false news of Top Glove using a video. In that video, two Top Glove workers claimed that Top Glove did not take care about their social distancing and did not care about their hygiene, despite the fact that Top Glove have emphasizing its employees. The second thing is Unresponsible Employees. Yubarat Katka, a whistleblower from a Top Glove, took a two picture showing other colleagues about a crime into the storehouse without sufficient social distancing. Katka, who feared losing his job, did not take action to tell management directly about the issue. At the same time, Katka has stated that he about the report suggesting or allow someone to use the photo in order to undermine the Top Glove without a truth to the contrary.
Ethical awareness can be taken from the unethical behavior of recruitment agents. Nepal and Bangladesh migrants use recruitment agents and forced to pay high amount of fees in order to secure the job. With that, workers involved in debt bondage. They believe it is more heinous than slavery because slave labor work for free whereas they pay to work. After this issue being known, Top Glove blacklisted several recruitment agents, implemented a no-cost recruitment policy, and compensated fees of 1,500 to Nepalese workers and 4,800 to Bangladesh.
Awareness of stakeholder. There are two main parties of stakeholders who are aware of this issue, which is the top management and the employee. The top management knows that their policies and working system has made their workers, especially foreign workers, being mistreated and being forced to work. However, they prioritize more on lower cost, high production, high revenue rather than their workers' right. While the employee know when they whistleblow about this issue to the world, it is unethical. However, they have no choice to voice it out because they hope that an action to be taken.
I will continue for ethical reasoning. From the top management view at the Top Glove company, they also have mentioned that there is no such thing as forced labor happen in the company. On 8 December 2018, they also have received unannounced visit from officers at the Ministry of Human Resources to investigate about this matter. After they have investigated and do some observation toward this matter at this company, they also have mentioned that there is no such thing as forced labor, overtime, and debt bondage that happen in the company. Next, about the passport issue also, the Top Glove company have never confiscated their migrant worker passport. They also have kept their employee passport in the passport storage room to ensure the protection for this important paper. They also have mentioned that their employees have unlimited access to access this passport, and they also can access this passport anytime.
Next, for the employee view have stated that due to need of deployment requests and favor workforce because of foreign travel limitation just make it difficult for firms to fill vacancy, so they were under pressure because they need to perform faster and longer tasks at this stage. Majority of them are unable to take a break. The breeding environment for a COVID-19 pandemic, which led to a greatest wave of illness too. Employees say that company has a harsh living and working condition, as well as movement restriction, isolation, and long hours, and a big number of industrial employees work every day during this pandemic. Workers on the mass production line are required to take a maximum of 2 days off every month, with an additional day costing about 25 ringgit. So they realize that they are being unfairly treated, and they have human rights too that seeks to have treated equally for their well-being and safety. The stakeholder that have the strongest ethical argument in this issue, of course, was a top management, since they have the clearly proof about the statement that they have made.
Okay, now I will continue for ethical suggestion. Based on the case above, the best course of action for a journalist propagating misleading information is for the organisation to develop a culture of integrity, compliance and ethics. To prevent journalists from propagating misleading information, Top Glove Company should implement an integrity-based culture. To avoid trust concern among consumers and stakeholders, the company must also take action in response to misleading news. Next, whistleblowing is just as ethical as the immoral conduct it exposes. If an employee discovers that the Top Glove Company for which they work is acting unethically, it is their moral responsibility to try to correct the problem. The greatest way to prevent internal whistleblowing is for the company to establish a speak-up culture. Employers should promote a speak-up culture that encourages employees to disclose the issues. Employees will be able to discuss any difficulties without fear of losing their job if they do so in this manner.
Other ethical suggestion is Top Glove Company should conduct a further investigation on the recruitment agent or agency before collaborating with them. The company itself should be responsible to ensure that they are working with a recruitment agent that are ethical and did not misuse their power that they had. Also, there should exist a law that can protect their worker, especially their migrant worker, from any type of abuse or maltreatment either in or out of the company. That should ensure that their workers' safety are protected in the best way possible.
Alright, after a few analyses on the suggestion, we can consider that the best decision that should be taken by the Top Glove is to make an analysis and investigation before finding a suitable recruitment agent. The main characteristic that all the recruitment agent must have is integrity, which means the recruitment agent is fully responsible to follow all the rules and law when they recruit and supply the workers to the company. There are 3 advantages when we follow this suggestion. The first one is we will get a better worker. The second one is all the recruitment agent will follow all the rule and law, so we will not facing any problem related to the law in future. The third one is we will able to create a concrete, valuable relationship between the stakeholder. According to the utilitarian approach, when we follow this suggestion, it will give more benefit to the greatest number in the company.
In conclusion, ethical issues occur particularly in every workplace since employees are frequently confronted with ethical dilemmas. When the ethical issue has arisen, those who are responsible to handle the issue need to take an action in appropriate ways possible. Hope that everyone had a clear view regarding the ethical and unethical behavior and knows how to handle it.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I will continue the presentation for ethical design. First, they must learn to develop a culture of integrity, compliance and ethics from earlier. And adequate planning is an ethical requirement. If they are aware that harm may arise, they have an ethical obligation to minimize such harms by reacting to and explaining the false information. Second, they also must learn to promote a speak-up culture among employees. Employees must inform management directly of any problems that develop within the company to avoid internal whistleblowing that could harm the company's reputation. And lastly, they must learn to be aware of the agencies that they are collaborating with. It is critical for Top Glove to thoroughly investigate the agency with which they will collaborate before committing to work with them to avoid any future complications. That's all from me. Thank you.